Oh, look at that. Did I hit YouTube too? Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm talking to myself. Sorry. Welcome to Terry TV. Oh, my goodness. Silly me, silly me, silly me. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Monday, and I did post a little bit late. I apologize. Today, we're going to talk about the Acolyte, and I wasn't going to talk about the Acolyte today on Terry TV or any day on Terry TV, except for my feed is blowing up about how this has got a 2 on Rotten Tomatoes. I got to tell you, I'm exaggerating, but it's something like 15%. The rest of it is that people don't like it. And I thought, hey, let's talk about it a little bit. So I'm excited. So my name is Terri Hardin. I'm a Disney Imagineer. I'm a Jim Henson Muppeteer and an internationally trademarked speaker and artist and speaker. Should do artist first. So I've been in movies like Ghostbusters, Men in Black, etc., etc., etc. So I hope you will see me, enjoy what you're seeing, and get downright excited. I'm excited that you're here and excited that it's Monday. So I recently had a birthday. Friday was my birthday, and that's why you didn't see me on Friday. So apologies, but I took the day. I ended up going to Gilroy to have a wonderful time with a group with people from Terry's tribe, which was great. So Terry's tribe, just so you know, is my Patreon page. And the Patreon page, I'm going to just share it with you now because your voice needs to be heard. Patreon.com/Terri Hardin. So there you go. There it is. Patreon.com/Terri Hardin. And I want to give a shout out to Crazy Mike because he sent me a lovely audio birthday song. And I just want you to know, thank you. I really was touched by through Messenger getting this beautiful singing happy birthday song. And I want to thank you very much. In the tribe, we have an amazing young girl from the UK. Her name is Bella. I've known her since she was 5 years old. We met at my park, which is Disneyland Paris, where I created a dragon. So you go under the castle and you see a 35-foot fully articulated dragon. Yes, that's my fault. So she always holds a cake in the UK, lights a candle, and sings happy birthday to me. Well, this young girl is getting on she's growing up. She's no longer 5. She's no longer 7. She's no longer 9. She's like 15 or 16. So she's at that age where, saying happy birthday to a little old lady here in California, I'm talking about myself, might get me, is it still as fun? I don't know. But to her, it is. I love her for that. Hugs and kisses. And I just wanted to give her a shout out on the public channel as well as the other one to say thank you for taking the time to bake a cake and then wish me happy birthday and then eat it on my behalf. I mean, that is my weight loss cake because Bella eats it. But she's a great young lady, and watching her post that video every year is a highlight for me, as well as a party that I had in Gilroy. And I will share with you this lovely cake. This is a tempura cheesecake at an amazing place in Gilroy called Sushi Omakase. And if you haven't been there, you need to go. It is the best of the best Japanese food you're going to taste outside of going directly to Japan. Okay? Just saying. All right? Just saying. Just an amazing day, just an amazing week, just an amazing month, my June month. It's just been fantastic. And I want to thank all of you that took the time to wish me a happy birthday. I want to thank you because I know your days are busy and your lives are full. And to take that time, I appreciate it. I would love to reciprocate on each and every one of your birthdays, but I have to apologize. No. I'm not one of those people that can do that as easily as possible. But if I see you or you tell me that it's your birthday, I'm happy to share that with you. So you can let me know if your birthday is there. It's wonderful. It's me. David T says hello to humans, and I can actually post this here. There it is. Hello to humans. Diane says good morning, birthday girl. See, still coming, guys. And then Terry, see, so there you go. Those just a few comments, and I just wanted to reach out and to tell you guys that that's why I wasn't here Friday. Okay, I know I usually post. I'm not going to be there, but things happened so fast because it was my birthday week. We were going like lightning. I was whisked away to a lovely beach location. I'm an ocean person, so I love looking at the ocean. I don't necessarily have to swim in it, although I enjoy that too. I just have to see it. It actually calms me. The minute I get near the sea, my whole body relaxes. And because I have such a busy schedule as an artist and as one that does a lot of appearances, a lot of things where I talk to you about how to make a living doing what you love. And then you're right to do what you love. You're right to create. If you want to create, don't let people choose your life for you. Remember that if the idea is really sounds insane to your friends and family, you're probably onto something. And I'm just going to point out the post-it note and the pet rock. Okay, if you don't know what the pet rock is, you gotta check it out, because it's literally a rock in some straw in a box with holes called the pet rock, and it was a huge sensation. So please don't let people tell you that your idea is crazy or whatever you want to do is nuts, except for if you want to do things that are harmful to you. Don't do anything that's harmful to you. Just get involved and enjoy. David says good morning from Kings Island. So, or good afternoon, he says. I see. Is it still morning? Yeah, it's still morning. I'm on the Pacific coast, so sometimes I got to tell you, I'm not sure. And it's Monday. I'm also not sure. But yes, lots going on. I'm always telling stories to you, but the main thing is that you've got to remember that if you have a dream, it's not enough just to dream. You have to fight for that dream nowadays. God is going to look down and say, how bad do you want this dream? And you're going to get a few challenges. And it's up to you to meet those challenges head on and get through them. Okay. Also, to look around, because the door of opportunity sometimes isn't right in front of you. It can be in your peripheral. So be sure to look and see if that door of opportunity is around so that you can go through it. And then don't hesitate. Don't let the little voice in your head say, what if I mess up or what if I screw up? Just go through the door and make plans later. This is what happened with me with Dragon's Lair. I had to pitch Dragon's Lair as an Imagineer, as a living, breathing dragon. And what happened is they asked me to create and design the attraction. And I had never done an attraction before. So I was like, eek, for about 2 seconds. Okay, the voice went, uh-oh. And I said, no-oh. And through the door I went and said, because I love dragons. So if I design it the way I like dragons, others will love it because they love dragons too. And it's huge underneath the castle in Paris. So if you've not been to Paris, go there and see my dragon and say howdy and enjoy it. It's a fabulous thing to see. And when the park opened, what was it, 90? I want to say 92. I could be wrong about the date because it's been a while. But when Disneyland Paris opened, it was voted the best attraction at Disneyland Paris, and it wasn't an attraction. It's more like a hub. It was a place you go through to get to other lands in Paris. Paris tends to have rain and often snow. So they wanted an sort of an underground transport to go to certain lands if you needed it. Most of the time people skip it and don't know it's there. So if you're in Disneyland Paris, there's a dragon under the castle. Don't forget. Okay. All right. So let's talk Acolyte. For those of you who don't know Acolyte, let me just share with you briefly that the Acolyte is the latest drop on Disney Plus for in the Star Wars universe. Okay. Now, I watched one show and then I watched half of another show. Honestly, I've kind of given up on Disney's presentations of stuff other than The Mandalorian because it's just not doing it for me. I am a aficionado of the original 3 Star Wars films. So A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, those are my staple films. In 1977, I stood in line. Well, I didn't really stand in line. I just popped in and saw them, and then for Empire Strikes Back, I stood 3 days in line to get the first ticket. Yes, I know, but there was no internet then, so I couldn't order online. But the point is that these 3 films changed my life. These 3 films are responsible for where I am today. And if you don't know where I am today, ask a question or Google me. But I've done a lot. And the reason I've done a lot is because anytime a door opened, I would go through it. So I created a lot of stuff, sculpting, designing, costumes, you name it. I've done it. I've been in Ghostbusters, worked on Men in Black, Indian in the Cupboard, Flintstones. What else? Country Bears. Oh, how could I forget the Country Bears? Dinosaurs, which is on Disney Plus. I played Baby Sinclair's Arms. So I've done a lot and it's been fun and I love it and it's exciting. So you, Captain EO, yes, Captain EO, you get the benefit of that. You feel you want to ask me, and maybe we'll have an Ask Me Anything. You guys can do your studying by Googling my name, TERRI HARDIN, and then you can ask me questions. Some people ask really deep questions. My early performances that I may have forgotten, like my first commercial or the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'm telling you, when you dig, you're going to see that I've done quite a bit. Mainly, I'm here though to share with you my insights. I'm known as the Star Wars Queen because I saw the original Star Wars, the 1977 New Hope, 183 times, and I'm in Skywalking, the book about George Lucas. Yes, it did make him nervous. I will say it made him very nervous. So, but luckily, yes, he is there. So what's my point? I've been looking at a lot of these things that Disney has been created, like many of you who have been looking at the Marvel spin-offs that you've seen and you've looked at the Star Wars spin-offs that you've seen. And I can't speak for you, but for me, they've left me flat. I just was like, what book are they reading? What lore are they following? Why do they think that it's okay to change oars in the water and rewrite all of the Star Wars rules, laws, and lores? Okay. It's too much for me. I don't like it. Okay. I don't like it. And, I didn't really worry too much if I liked it or you liked it. I just said, I'm not going to watch it. Like Boba Fett. Oh my goodness. Boba Fett made me crazy. I just couldn't stand that series. Watching a guy in a tank underwater for most of the series. The good thing about movies, and unlike episodics, is that a movie gives you 2 hours, sometimes 3. And so you got to keep your story tight if possible. But then you're given 8 episodes, an hour long. And for some reason, if you're granted an episodic, but you feel like the story is really only good for about 2 to 4 hours, you seem to stretch it and drive me insane for the middle episodes before I get to the meat of the story. Okay? Acolyte is none of these. It's just boring. It's just boring. I feel like it's point scoring. I can't stand it when it looks like the production has checked boxes. Do we have a black person? Check. Do we have a white person? Check. Do we have a mixed person? Check. By the way, that's me, half black, half white, but I wasn't in the series. No sour grapes, just pointing out the obvious or what might not be obvious. The gay person, the this person, the that person, the whatever persons, right? And they're just checking boxes when they should just be casting the film and making the movie and giving me good story. So it became frustrating the more I watched. There's a few hits. Mandalorian, their first and second season. thought was really tight, thought was really good. I mean, there was one episode I didn't like, but I'm not going to go there. 99.9% of Mandalorian I loved. I really thought Favreau and team did a great job. I felt like they had my heart, and I know many Star Wars people share the same thing. But what was driving me crazy was like Ben Kenobi, which I just wanted to scream because I know the lore of the first three films: New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. They exist. You can't just pretend that they don't exist, Disney. They do. You can't just rewrite history. Well, I guess you can, but I'd rather you not. Okay. And so when I watched Ben Kenobi and certain things were happening that never happened in the early times, you just wanted to pull your hair out. You just were like, yeah. So Ben Kenobi didn't do it for me. Most of them didn't do it for me. I mean, it's easier for me to tell you what ones I liked as opposed to ones I didn't like. So Rogue One is in there. I liked Rogue One. Mandalorian's in there. I like Mandalorian. And that, what is it? Endor, maybe? Thought that was okay. Didn't get through the whole thing. So shows you that I lost interest part of the way through. Marvel is the same way, as I understand it. My husband was a really happy Marvel fan, and then it crashed and burned. So what's happening is that Disney is spending too much time on point scoring and trying to genderfy a film when they should just make the movie. Make the movie for Star Wars fans. Make the movie for Disney fans. Make the movie for Marvel fans. Fans. Don't identify. Do we have kids? Do we have dogs? Do we have cats? Do we have aliens? Do we have men? Do we have women? Just make the flipping movie. Then if people love it, you're onto something, right? You make the movie and at least you're happy, right? Now, not a hate film, not a mean film. If you're going to go out and make a mean film, none of us are going to like it. I can't imagine people would love it if it's just nasty and mean. But if it's a movie that's for your heart, just stop worrying about who's going to like it and who's going to not. Make your film. And if there's people who don't like it, understand tastes differ. But that's what we're going to love, right? And Acolyte just was too much of Disney trying to please everybody. And you can't please everybody. And what happens is when you put all the colors together in one bucket, you get mud. No vibrance, no energy, no fun. And to me, this is what this new thing is. So I invite you to put in your thoughts on it. If you loved it, please talk to me about why you like it. Okay? It could be, here's the thing. It could be that you are a younger person, younger by I'm meaning 40 or below, right? I'm 67, just turned. Okay. So your opening to Star Wars might be the prequels. Okay. I don't like the prequels at all. They do not collate with the original three films. But you might not have been around for those original three films. You might not have been born yet. So those first three, 1, 2, and 3, are what you were introduced to. And you loved them. And there's nothing wrong with you loving them. Just because I don't like them, they will never be on my shelf, nor will I ever watch them because they really annoy me, doesn't mean that they're not good for you. Because you were a little kid or you were a teenager, these were the first films you saw because you thought maybe I should watch them in order, even though they make no sense, but you managed to enjoy them that way. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? We all have a right to our different tastes. I'll tell you right now, I like some films that you would just go, really? Are you kidding? And I dislike films that you will go, oh, really? Are you kidding? So we could have this discussion back and forth, but the idea is not to insult the person with the opinion. Don't say, well, that's just stupid, because now you're insulting the person. And that's not fair. We're in the United States. People are entitled to their opinion. If they like something you don't, it's not, don't attack them. Attack the idea and say, this is why I don't like this because of this, this, and this. And this is why I wasn't impressed with this because this and this and this. Are they serious with that story? Trust me, that story is so lame. Why do they not see it? Is a thing I was seeing with this Acolyte stuff. Acolyte, my husband says there's no L. Acolyte stuff is just a lot of blah. And I don't understand how you can spend so much money and make such blah. But Disney seems to have hit the mark on that. And one of the articles that I read that I found very enlightening, let's just say that. And I had to read a few because it comes across my feed like crazy. But one of the things I noticed about it that was really something is that they kept saying, you know, Kathleen Kennedy and the Disney organization blames it on the fans. They blame it on male fans pushing out female fans and not, you know, squashing the voices of female fans and not letting female fans speak. This is probably why this female fan is speaking right now. No man is squashing my opinion. All right. I think the male fans and the female fans are linked in this. Your movies are sucking, darling. And you need to step back and you need to do something. I know this is going to shock you, Miss Kennedy, but I'm going to give you the solution to doing this properly. And that is ask the fans. Ask. A-S-K, meaning to inquire with people in the know what they'd like to see. I know this cannot be such an easy solution, but trust me, as a sculptor and designer of many things that you know, many things that you've seen, but my name may not be scrolled across them, are a result because I ask the fans. I ask people who love it. You love Story Wars. What would you like to see? I don't know Marvel. Talk to me about what in Marvel you would like to see. Because I do a lot of collectible sculptures. And those collectible sculptures come from doing what? Asking. Plain and simple. So instead of pointing and doing the blame game, saying it's chauvinistic, racist male fans, which I think is pretty mean because why? What did I say? What did I say? You do not attack the person. Huge amounts of people saying this is not good. Rotten Tomatoes, which seems to be on the pulse because I guess they ask, is saying that what? It's a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, don't bother. Yet Rotten Tomatoes tells you when they love something. So I know I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but let's take Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, I don't know if it's Deadpool versus Wolverine, Deadpool with Wolverine, Wolverine with Deadpool. Don't care. Okay, but here's what's impressive about that is if you watch the trailers, forgive me, every time I lean a little bit forward, my hair drops back and then starts poking me. So I don't know why it wants to do that today. Maybe it has an opinion. But in that, I love the trailers on this. I think these are some of the most brilliant trailers I've seen in a long time. Why? Because Deadpool says, don't bother to see the movie if you think it's just going to be a lot of fighting and cutting and violence. Because it is. You know? I think one of the things I love about the Deadpool films is they're in your face. They're just right in your face. I mean, he says what he thinks. He says what he feels. It's vulgar. And you're like, oh my gosh. And yet, he's as truthful about his vulgarity, Deadpool, as he is as his love for his lady. And that gets me. I love the love story in the original Deadpool. I eat it up like my favorite dessert. Just love it. Just love it. So these Deadpool Wolverine things where they don't care or they're teasing each other or they're I don't know. They're just two crazy polar bears rolling about. I just love it. I am so excited to see this movie. And I think it's because they really come off in the previews as they don't care if you see it or not. You don't want to see it, don't come. Is like one trailer. Isn't this brilliant? I mean, don't you think this is brilliant? So how is it that Disney, which is full of very talented people, me being an engineer, I agree, but that you don't get it? All you have to do is ask the people. Why is Disneyland and Walt Disney World having, they're having a bit of trouble because people are angry because you keep raising prices and you're not really delivering on one way or another? Just ask. They'll help you. I've always said this. Walt Disney, the Walt Disney had an advisory committee. Advisory means to get advice, and they were all made up of people like you. And he loved it, and he nailed it every time. There were people around the 50th anniversary, and we're about to celebrate our 70th a year from now, that said they had to hold their wallets close to them because they would spend their food money on Disney stuff. And this was because Disney had this advisory committee that would say, hey, not that one, that one. Not that one, that one. They would say, they would vote. And here's the kicker. Walt only had to give them a button that said they were part of the advisory committee. They might have got a couple of extra little perks, but most of it was just a little button that came in the mail. Now, I'm not saying the button is a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying that you guys are always willing to give, and you don't necessarily expect to get. You just want to help this company not suck. This company is a wonderful company made by a wonderful man, and all we want to do is help you. But you sit wherever you sit in your corporate offices with your doors locked, and you don't talk to any of us. This is not a good idea. You've seen over and over and over again how your numbers are taking a crash dive, and you're blaming it on the very people who want to help you. I'm telling you, get rid of that stinking thinking and start asking the fans what they want. Trust me, they're going to open up like a beautiful rose and tell you, and they won't be mean about it. And if the person is mean about it, delete. I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 people on Terry's Tribe, my Patreon page, when I ask them this or this, they simply say this. Here's why this. I like this because, and they list it. They help me in my design work. They help me in my creativity because they have their fingers on the pulse, because they love Disney, or they love Lego, or they love Marvel, or they love Star Wars, or they love nature, or they love charities, or they love, you see what I'm saying? There's people of every walk of life in the tribe. And I love this because all I have to do is ask the question, and my work becomes simple as pie. People will look at the art and say, man, you are amazing. But what they're not realizing is that amazing, it takes a village. I've got people like you who help me decide and make it amazing so that you can purchase what you need to purchase, what you would like to purchase. Okay. I remember someone in the tribe said you ought to do Groot. And I thought Groot has got everything. I mean, there were so many Groots out there that I was like, Groot, are you kidding? Don't you guys have enough of Groot? Of course, Hitchhiking Ghosts were the same way. Don't you guys have enough Hitchhiking Ghosts, you that are Haunted Mansion collectors? And everyone came back and said, but you haven't done it. Now it sounds like they might be, just saying it to be kind, but they don't. They're very truthful. They're very honest. And I know the majority of you out there are, because I look at these Acolyte readouts, these posts, these tweets, these YouTube channel vents, and you're hurt, you're sad, you're upset because it's your family, isn't it? It's like if somebody disses Disney, you get upset if you're a Disney person because it's your family. You take it really personal. It's your family. If you like Marvel, you take it personal because it's your movies. My movie. Okay. If it's Star Wars, you take it personal because you go, you're really messing up with something I'm really grateful for. Star Wars is responsible for getting me launched into the career that I have today. It gave me the confidence. Now, I will admit that I watched George Lucas just work to get it produced. You know, studio after studio after studio he went to, and finally someone said yes, but he kept going, he kept fighting. And I read about that story, and I have spoken to him about it because I did do Captain EO, and I got the chance to sit with him, and I got to personally thank him for creating Star Wars. I really don't care what he would have rather done. I'm grateful he did Star Wars because it changed my thinking as an artist from hobby to career. Okay? So this is why it means so much to us. This is why it's personal for us, many of us. And if it's not personal for you, well, then I'm not addressing you right now. But if it's personal for you, if it means something for you, personally, it hurts when they screw it up and they do it like, you know, and then they come on camera or they talk to people in news, they talk to the press or whoever they're talking to and saying, it's not us, it's the fans. Who says that and actually really believes it? I really don't believe that she believes this. I just like, it's kind of a look over there. It's not me, it's him. It's not me, it's him. It's not me, it's her. It's not me, it's him. It's not me, it's at the end of the line, you know? So honestly, it's just frustrating. But you guys have kicked in now. I see that I've got a lot of people with a lot of things to say. So let's get in here and see what you have to say. Mike always comes in with a how am I? Mike, I had the best birthday, best weekend ever from some of the sweetest people, breakfast, cool things, stuff like that. I went to breakfast. Let me show you something really cool. I went to breakfast at Denny's with a friend of mine. She took me to breakfast Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Yes, let's not talk about the time. I'm an early riser because I don't like lines. So, well, I did like lines during Star Wars, but I'm digressing. So let me show you this little fun thing. Now, it's just a fun thing for you guys all to see. It's super fun. This is our, the servers no longer need to carry those plates to you. The little robot says, food is here, and there you go. And then the little robot says, enjoy, and goes away. There's two sides to this coin, guys. There's two sides as you see it. Side one is maybe this is to save servers from injuring themselves carrying a lot of plates. However, I was always impressed by the way people could balance so many plates, these servers. But it's also because less people need to be hired, isn't it? Now that you have a little robot to help, you can stack it with silverware, linens, food on all three trays like you saw, and you need less people working in your restaurant or establishment. Way of the future. A lot of times they say cause and effect. You create a cause and then there is an effect. Sometimes the effect can be good. Sometimes the effect can be adverse. In this case, this little robot is quite impressive, but wow, how many jobs did this robot consume? Is the question many of you may be asking. Forgive me. I need to just double check because I'm monitoring my mother. There we go. Okay, nothing about my mom, so I don't need to worry. That makes me happy. There we go. Yeah. But I thought you'd like to see it because it really shocked me. I had to film it. My husband loves robots, and I like robots too. This is what's happening out there, right? This is what's happening out there. Okay, and thank you, Mike, but I am doing quite well. Good morning. Uh, I have your Country Bear Big Al pin. You know, those are sold out. Completely sold out, Linda. So congratulations to you about that Big Al. Some people are talking to me about maybe doing some of the other characters because I did do the movie Country Bears. Don't know how you feel about that, but I might just do that. Mike says, I look nice. Thank you. I'm very happy. I'm wearing my Kermit the Frog shirt. There's Kermit in honor of Muppets. Love my Kermit, my Jim Henson shirt, you know. Sky High says they seem to not hire show creators. Disney doesn't use showrunners that actually care about Star Wars. Seems like hiring problem way at the top. Hiring problem, or do they feel they can do it all themselves? Can I call you Sky? Um, it seems like they just think they can do it all themselves. And we know what happens when you do something all yourself. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Okay. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Maybe you can, but should you? One of the things that's beautiful about being an Imagineer is that to me, Imagineering means collaboration between some of the most amazing artists on the planet. It is an elite group of people that have these minds that create from, artists create from nothing. And you need to remember that you're creating from nothing, which is a big deal. But then you've got Imagineers that just are magical on so many levels. And so it's really fun to get together with other Imagineers to create this amazing what? Right? Getting together with Imagineers to create, for example, the Tron ride, which to me is off the chain. I had nothing to do with the Imagineers or the creation of the Tron ride, but I did go ride it and it knocked my socks off. I think that if you love this movie that happened quite a while back, you'll look at the effects and go, "Ooh, some of these effects are pretty." But this was when we were just breaking ground. This was just breaking through to computer effects. And but the cycles were great. And so now you have this opportunity to actually become part of Tron and ride these cycles. And the ride is amazing. If you haven't ridden it, you got to. It is by far jaw-dropping because it actually, something comes across your back, you push forward and you move into cycle position and off you go. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 connected in 8 segments of 8 cycles. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Amazing. Amazing. If you ever get to Shanghai and you get the opportunity to see their Pirates of the Caribbean, because that particular Pirates of the Caribbean needs a lot of space. Hence why it's in Shanghai, because Shanghai has a lot of land. China has a lot of land. So this enormous ride combines audio animatronics with computer generated images. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but it really blew me away how beautifully integrated it is. Disney's got the stuff to create some amazing experiences. But you can't get all high and mighty and think you can do it all yourself. That's not what Imagineering is about. It's about collaborating and creating and making something more. You can come up with the idea, but then you get with others and then they add to it. Much like a good animated film. You come up with the idea of the animated films and then you collaborate with other animators and show creators and it explodes into a million wonderful, fabulous ideas. And then you get something like Elemental or you get something like Soul, which are later films, but they are both really, really good. And I'm sorry, it's a shame. It's a shame. It makes you want to cry as you see something destroyed that meant so much to you. And that's why we keep reaching out. The best way we know we can be heard, which is social media. I don't spend a lot of time on X/Twitter, but it does come across my feed by other news organizations who pull those comments down and say, for Acolyte, the best thing about it is it's created great memes. Really? You know, is that the kind of review you want for your stuff? You're worrying so much about pleasing everybody, and now this, I don't know. I don't know. It's just heartbreaking. And I haven't done Tiana's Adventure yet. It's not open here at Disneyland yet. But Tiana's Adventure uses the same log, and I don't know if it's going to be interesting or not. I hope so. I disagree with closing Splash Mountain for the reasons they did, but in all honesty, Splash Mountain was getting a little long in the tooth. Except for, I'm sorry, Zippity Doo-Dah song. I never tire of hearing that. But I worked on it. I had my fox all through the one in Disneyland. I sculpted a Brer Fox for that attraction. And I also did the rabbit for Walt Disney World and for Tokyo. Tokyo still has Splash Mountain. So if you love Splash Mountain, you can go to Tokyo and they still have it. Okay. Because they disagree with a lot of the things that were said about it. It's a joyful attraction and it's not racist. I'm just going to disagree with you right there. Okay. I just disagree. That's all. Okay. But if we take out that comment and we look at the Splash Mountain ride and we say, hey, it would be nice if it was upgraded. It would be nice if we did something different there, because Disneyland only has so much space. And so how about we do something a little bit different, in Critter Country? Critter Country really hasn't changed for quite a while. So how about we spice it up a little bit? And so let's put a Tiana ride in there. I'm all for that. I think that's a great idea. Things have got to progress. So, okay. Except for in the same breath, I'm going to tell you, don't touch Alice in Wonderland. And the Matterhorn is fine. The Tiki Room is fine. And don't touch Mr. Toad's. So I have mine that I want you to just leave alone. Okay. So we all have a little two sides to every coin, don't we? Yes, we do. So there we have it. But thank you, because you're absolutely right. A showrunner has a purpose, and these people would be very much of an asset. Don't do it all yourself. Pull in these people who are passionate about what they do, because there's what real art is. Passionate about what you do. And there are people who grew up wanting to be showrunners. So why are you keeping them from showing their showrunner-ness? Is that a word? Sky also says, hated it. Terrible writing, no action, awful dialogue, story structure non-existent, nothing to do with gay or people of color, but they won't let any rightful criticism be heard. They even lash out. You are right. This is my problem. Either they want to please everybody and their brother, and you can't please everybody. Okay, when it came, I know I'm using Splash as kind of an example, but it's a ride example. It's a hardcore example, which is why I'm using it here, as opposed to the film examples right now. Here's why. When Splash was finally taken out and they were going to put Tiana in, many people were angry because they said, so Tiana gets hand-me-downs now? You can't create a real ride for Tiana. She's got to have the hand-me-down Splash ride. So what does that tell you? You can't please everybody. Do what you got to do, make what you got to make, and so there you go. And just like Sky High is saying right here, you didn't fool any of us. People of color know people of color, witches know it. It's baloney. We looked at it and we said, who are you? Whose leg are you pulling now? And so Sky is very clear here about, what are you doing? The mouth hangs open and we're saying, what are you doing? It's our fault because we have standards. Yes, this is what they're saying. They lash out at fandom, is what Sky High is saying. And it's because we have standards. Yeah, like we want a good story. You know, ugh. This is one of the reasons I like a lot of animated, because animated takes the simple story of rising above the ashes often. You know, someone isn't liked, someone isn't cool, somebody's got an issue for whatever reason. They're a geeky person, they're a fish out of water, a square peg in a round hole, whatever they are. And then they rise above the occasion and prevail. This is a basic storyline that I don't know about you, but you got me here every single time. Not once, not twice, all the time. So, How to Train Your Dragon is a perfect example of that. Kung Fu Panda, even more of a perfect example. Kung Fu 1, Panda 1, where you're a big fat panda, okay? And you're told you're a big fat panda. And oh my God, you smell. And oh my God, you're annoying. And oh my God, you're slothy and you don't bathe. You're a big fat panda. What the heck is all about you? And then at the end of the movie, he's not a big fat panda, he's the big fat panda. You see the difference? We love these stories about people realizing their worth and how special they really are. And what did they really do? They just stopped listening to the negative voices, and they finally got that prize, and they worked and they did it. And they admitted that, yeah, it hurts what you're saying about me, but I've always wanted this, or my life was worse. Even with you guys making fun of me, my life was worse before I got this opportunity, and I'm not going to let it go. I'm not going to let it go because I deserve it. And you deserve the same. And we who have standards sky high deserve for them to realize that we are not part of the problem. We are part of the solution if they would only ask. That's my message today. If they would only ask. Joe Penny says, dang it, I've been on Facebook for an hour awaiting your live notification of this video, at least appearing at the top of my feed, but nope, still nothing. I had to hunt your profile down to see that you're on. Very annoying. Mark Zuckerberg and his Zucky Farms. Well, there's the challenge, Joe. Facebook is going through a lot of, it's not an excuse. It's just that every day I have to be on my toes with Facebook. I'm not kidding, because I broadcast through StreamYard. And right now they are saying that in the cases of a private Facebook group, of which I have with Terry's Tribe, love to have any of you who are willing to come over. So please check it out, patreon.com/Terri Hardin, because your voice needs to be heard and we'd love to hear from you. But anyway, Joe, this is frustrating. Every time I get on early so that I can test my system to make sure that my private broadcast goes into the private page privately. Have I said that enough? Because I say things on my tribe page I will never say here. Nope, never, 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 never. Okay? We dig deep. We talk very serious, and we get down to the nitty gritty, and we understand, because we're behind a private wall, that we can speak freely. So I guard it. I guard it like Tai Lung. I really do. I guard it. I guard it like Tai Lung. I guard it like the Kung Fu Panda. I guard it. I protect it. I protect my people and my tribe, and it's very important. The couple of times I was trying to test it, Joe, and go based on what they were telling me, it went hybrid. And the next thing I know, I'm broadcasting to my tribe and to everybody publicly. And luckily they watched out to me and they were like, whoa, 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 you're public. So we tested it. So far, so good, Joe. But I can't tell you why the feed is not showing up on Facebook. I have no idea. All I can say is that they must be doing something else. And they may come to me later and tell me later that what? I can't even think about it. They told StreamYard, you can tell because I have a logo up here. If it wasn't my logo, it would be the little mallard. It's just a very simple, easy way to broadcast if you want to broadcast. Just makes life easy. I can also cut to different cameras, so I can cut to this camera and say, hey guys, what's up? or I can cut back to my other camera. So it just works in a system for someone who's not good with social media ever. I got to do the best I can, hanging on by my fingernails. But it allows me to zip between the various things that you've seen today, including the little robot video that I played for you. But Facebook has got an agenda that I can't figure out, and most of us can't figure out. So one of the things it said was that I had to have 100 followers on Facebook. I do. I have thousands. The other one was that I had to be proven a professional. They have proven me a professional person. I am who I say I am. But I cannot explain to you, Joe, why the Facebook is not letting you know about it. So all I can suggest to you is to do yourself a favor and follow me on YouTube as well. And that way you'll be notified through YouTube, because YouTube has been doing its due diligence. That's what my husband does, because my husband isn't a part of Facebook and he wants to see how I'm coming across on camera. Right now, I think I look a little pale, but you guys can tell me if I look a little pale to you that you're looking at now. But the reality of the whole thing is that he gets notified on YouTube. But understand, I'm always coming on 9:45-ish Mondays and Fridays. Last Friday I didn't, because it was my birthday. So I could have confused a lot of you guys a little bit by doing that. But I simply just went and had my birthday party. My husband whisked me away to a wonderful, fabulous, fun-filled location, and I had a blast. So I'm glad that you're bearing with me as the tribe does. So I'm sorry, Joe, but I'm glad you found me. I'm really glad you found me. At the fandom is what you wanted to say. Yes, of course. And 13%. And I think, Sky High, you're saying that's from Rotten Tomatoes. And you're absolutely right. So, you're looking at this. And Rotten Tomatoes, one of the things I think that's interesting about this group is that they used to give you like a Rotten Tomato for the worst film. I don't know if they still do that, but they became this place where people are interacting so much that you're getting a way to see what fans like without having to work very hard, because Rotten Tomatoes is one of those places where you can just go and see how people respond. You can go in there and say, is it the popcorn or the tomato? That's great about this movie. Now, I have to be honest with you. Sometimes there's movies that have tomatoes that I like, and some that have popcorn. Woohoo, it's a great film, that I don't like. So it's going to be that you have to choose for yourself. But in this case, I kept not wanting to talk about Acolyte because I kept feeling like I'm always talking like this. And I don't know, Sky High, if you feel the same way. Like every time you go with the hope of seeing a new version of a Star Wars film, you're like, did they get a clue? Please, 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 please. Oh, and we're disappointed. And continuously disappointed. And now my husband, I think he's telling me there's a new Marvel film coming out, and it doesn't look like it's going to be any good, and people are already sad. I cannot tell you what it is because I'm not a Marvelite, but I understand your pain because I'm getting, it stabbed in the chest every time they do a cheesy Star Wars thing like this. As a woman, I don't need to see women acting poorly. I need to see strong women in strong positions. I just recently, I may have talked about this last Monday, so forgive me if I did, but I just watched The Matrix with Keanu Reeves. And the woman who plays Trinity in that is unbelievable. She is so strong. She is so good. She when she's sad, I'm sad. When she's frightened, I'm frightened. When she's strong and smart and just love that character. Love this character. There's also a movie called Sisu. Okay, now it is like watching a live action graphic novel. It's Monday. Forgive my tongue being tied. Maybe I should have a sip of tea. I almost said a tip of C. Oh goodness. That's going to do it. A sip of tea. Let me have another one. Sisu is like watching a graphic novel come to life, live action graphic novel. I mean, it is mayhem. Blood, guts, laughter, tears, wonderful. And it has these women in it that are amazing. Amazing. They are amazing, amazing, amazing. And you just are, yeah, you know. So I don't need it to be an entire, you know, I'm not saying that you should just get all crazy and do a broad paintbrush and erase men from the equation. This is craziness. This is a crazy idea, and it's not the best idea at all. I love the interaction between men and women and human beings. And I love when you got a good, strong male character, a seriously strong female character, interesting characters all around. I am a character actress as well. So I'm always looking at the people around the star. You know, if the star is where I am sitting, then all of the people that create the salt and pepper of something, and I go nuts for that character. So you just go, oh my gosh, I just love this person here or this person here. This person adds the right spice to it. This person adds a little flair to it. It's a lot of fun to watch them. And they are surrounding characters that make the star look better. That's what I like. I like it a lot. There's a movie that when we were kids, we absolutely loved that every time we watch it now, because I have created my own personal library. Why? Because I don't like streaming to tell me what I can watch and what not to watch. I'm just that way. Don't tell me what to do. Um, is called Blazing Saddles. Have you seen this? Maybe I'll talk about it in the future, but Blazing Saddles could not be made today with all that's going on in the world. It could not get made. But you've got to watch it because it has people of all walks of life in it, and it's so funny. We watched it the other day and we still found it funny. It's a little potty humor, which I've never really dug, but it's still at a time. I remember the time I first saw it, and then I laughed, and that my friends laughed, and we were young and we laughed because it was just a Mel Brooks great funny movie. It's fun. It pokes fun at everybody, and it's a fun movie. So you may agree, you may disagree, but this film is great fun. Young Frankenstein is another one I love. But Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks cast all types of people. He cast good people. And I think that's all we're really asking as a group of people. Just cast good people. Don't let your preconceived ideas when you're writing your script of what a person should look like or a person should be, don't let that cloud your judgment. Just wait till you've got a great star. And when you have a great person that fits that bill well, then you're going, wow, this was the person. They came in and they just dazzled me. I just couldn't get over. I couldn't stop thinking about them. One of the people is the actor who Michael Clark Duncan, the large guy from Green Mile, which I love the Green Mile. When Michael first auditioned, he was terrible as John Coffey. He was terrible. He was green. He was nervous. He was frightened. But after they saw him perform, they could not get out of their mind this amazing John Coffey character. They kept going back to what could we do to put Michael Clark in this position? Because he just is the epitome of John Coffey. So what can we do? And when they finally decided they're going to work with him, they're going to help him to become this John Coffey. He won an Academy Award for his performance. That good. Yeah. But it took a village. It took everybody. You know, Tom Hanks used to actually stand opposite him while he did his scenes to give him the emotion he needed, so that he could be wonderful. And we all love Tom Hanks. So, you know what I mean? It's like you just give, you just help. And that movie is so good. Later on, some of the movies they would direct him, some of the movies they just left him of his own. But he really excelled in this movie, and it's because everyone pulled together to make this a great film. They wanted to make a good film, and they helped each other. They didn't make it all about selves or I'll be in my trailer or anything like that. They gave, and they gave together. Producer, director, writer, main characters, supplementary salt and pepper characters. Everybody was vested, and therefore the film is good. The film is amazing. Really amazing. Green Mile. And so this is what's frustrating is movies where it really works. And you've seen Star Wars films where it works. Empire Strikes Back. Brilliant. But what? Stop hurting me. If you're not going to make a good film, don't make the film. Don't spend millions and millions of dollars. Right up front, Godzilla that took visual effects at the Academy Awards. That Godzilla, this Godzilla -1 is everything we wanted in a Godzilla film because they listened to the fans and they were fans. But they weren't just fans who did it on their own. They talked to other fans. They really did their homework. They said, these Godzilla fans have hung with us since the very first one with that was in Japan and then came to the US with Raymond Burr as Steve Martin. That's funny enough in itself. But the point is here's a thing that you watched as a kid, and now we've walked through all the different Godzillas, and we're still here. So -1 decided to thank us by giving this film $10 million. And it wins an Academy Award, and it blows everything else out of the water. It is amazing. And we as the fans are grateful because what did you do? You must have asked someone. So it's not impossible. It's not impossible to do. It's just that you got to get out of your own head, Miss Kennedy, and you need to admit you're messing up. Do a start over. You're a human being. Nothing wrong with you saying, okay, I'm going to start asking because I want the tables to turn for the Disney Corporation. If you don't want the tables to turn for the Disney Corporation, then I think you better own it. Okay? Just say you don't want to because you did some brilliant films. We're all sitting there saying, what happened to Kathleen Kennedy? She did these brilliant films. And now what are you doing? It's just that we're not dissing you. We're just not understanding what is with you and people around you. Why can you do this great stuff and you're like ignoring what you did before? What did you do before that you changed now? Go back or something. That's all. There I go. Ranting away again. David says MCU and SWU are lost on this member, the class of 1977. And this says it all, doesn't it? The way David is speaking here, we're all feeling like this. If we're being blamed, why should we even, we're not going to spend the money to go see this stuff. Why should I tune in if it just going to break my heart every single time? Yep. That's what I say. Sky High says Disney used to be full of talented people. And I really think they still are, Sky High. I really do. But when you keep someone from stretching their wings and being creative, but you pin them and you micromanage them, they're like, this. How can I work in these? You can't. You can't. I can't remember recently, I was working with someone and I said, you know what? I would really like you just to spread your wings and tell me what you'd like to do. I collaborated with someone and I said, the reason I'm collaborating, many of you know my father passed away. I'm almost coming up on his 1-year anniversary of his passing away and his 1-year anniversary for his birthday. A lot of 1 years coming up in the summer. So I won't go there. But what I will tell you is that we had to sell my dad's house. And I am very good friends with one of the top real estate agencies in the business. She is this side of brilliant. So we sat down together because we had to sell my father's house. And she asked me, shall I suggest to you what I think is the best way to proceed with the sale of this house for the maximum result? Or do you want to tell me what you expect from the house? And I had to say to her, I did not choose you to micromanage you. I am not a real estate agent, nor do I pretend to be one. I want you to spread your wings. I want you to do what you do the magic that you do. This is why I chose you, and I will be happy. And the gratitude that came from a woman who is the number she'll say, so let me speak as her, one of the number one real estate agents in Southern California, is grateful that I let her do her flipping job. I mean, Sky High, can you imagine being at Disney and so pinned you don't get to do what you were hired to do? And this is what the problem is, that I think people are like little, you're holding a pigeon. The pigeon can't flap his wings, or the eagle, and he can't flap his wings. He's sitting there saying, if you just let me flap my wings, I can show you what I got. And so I can't say that there's no talented people there. I can simply say that many of them could be stifled. And this, again, is not cool. You got the best of the best under your roof. You need to let them do it. When left to their own devices, you're going to have real magic. You won't even have to work as hard as you're working. Just let them go. My dad used to say, let the whirling dervish whirl. Stand back. See what happens. Thank you for that comment. Joe Penny says, I haven't yet started watching The Acolyte, but I got to be honest, I am sick and tired of the constant flood of negativity coming from fans. Legitimate criticism of this or the project, like you've done here, Terry, is fine, but so far I haven't seen that much legitimate criticism, the type of criticism you see from professional critics. I've been seeing a lot of very vulgar, whiny, nondescriptive, vague, and too often very politically charged comments about it, telling me it's and then he has more, so he'll probably add to that. But he's right. Again, if you're going to get personal in your commenting, no one's going to listen. All right? If you're going to attack the people who like it, or you're going to attack these people personally. And you heard me speak to Kathleen Kennedy. I did not call Kathleen Kennedy any negative words about her personally. I disagree with insulting these people personally. I don't understand why you would do that. It closes a person. When you start to say things like, are you out of your mind? Maybe you want to say that, but you should think about it. Keep it in your mind, like the Kung Fu Panda. And say, wait, let me get this straight. Am I to understand that what you're telling me is you believe this way? Well, what about this? What about this? What about this? How do you address that? And they come back with, they're hopefully not insulting you, but saying, here's how I address that. I like this about it. I like this about it. I like this about it. And some may not feel they need to justify why they like it. And I get that too. I understand. I had a friend in the tribe, a very dear friend in the tribe, who really loves the live action Disney films. They are not to my taste. I think they are merely copying over good stuff and boring me to tears. The idea of a Lion King live action 2 to me is, why bother? But there are those of you out there eager to see it. And so you are the ones they're making this for, not me. So I love to hear from you if you say, I love The Acolyte, and here's why. Please talk to me, because right now I am not enjoying it at all. I'm not going to watch any more of it. It's too painful, because it really hurts that someone would spend this much money and then this is the product that I get. It feels spoiled to me. Let me emphasize that. Okay. To me, it feels spoiled. You can break through the corporate wall. You hope to break through the corporate wall, don't you? Sometimes it's not so easy, is it? Don't save her. She doesn't want to be saved. J. Cole, song about the street women who don't want to stop. This is the same as Disney. They want to push identity politics and have for years. They don't want to listen to anyone. So just don't waste your breath or energy. Well, this I will say to you, I disagree with as well. If we don't keep stating our views and we just become complacent and give up, then I believe we're just at fault. We must never give up. Okay, so I'm with a group of people who believes you should put the Walt Disney back in Disney. I believe this wholeheartedly. Scout signer. As a creator myself and as a designer of many attractions or art, I don't like it when they don't give me the credit for it. I've worked hard on it. I've spent hours on it. I deserve the credit for it because it's my creation. So Walt came up. Now, he had help, but Walt came up with the idea. He fought for the idea. He had hurdles he had to go through. He had challenges he had to do. He was disappointed, often kicked in the stomach, but he kept going and he created Disneyland. And I just feel that it's horrible to take his name off of, off of Walt Disney Pictures. And, they call it, Disney instead of Walt Disney. Walt is just 4 little words. You put the Walt in front of Disney, please. It just drives me crazy. But I'm saying that my belief is that they can improve if they start asking people, what is it? Because I agree. I hear the rant, Sky High. I feel the rant. And I have a similar rant. I just don't think it's, I'm there. I want to see good stuff. For me, just give me a good story for starters. Let's erase all the other stuff that's driving me crazy about these things that they're putting out, and just give me a good story for starters. Fix what you got to fix, but you could fix all of that, and if the story still stuck, I'm not going to like it. It needs to be a decent story, and I've already pointed out it doesn't have to be a reinvented story. It can be a phoenix rising above the ashes. Harry Potter. A young boy, marked, has no idea what this means. And the whole time he's trying to figure out, what is it I have to live up to? Because I got this mark on my head. I'm something scary. I don't feel it. I don't see it. What? Great stories. Great stories. So, I don't know. It's weird. Matt says, Captain EO, love it. Thank you. I really love doing it. I got to stunt double for Angelica Houston because she didn't like flying 20 feet in the air. So I got to do it. Yeah. That was a great production. I was on it for 8 months and got some new friends out of it, like Angelica Houston and Michael Jackson, to name a couple that you might know. I'm just saying that you might know. Thank you for saying that, Matt. Very little original IP coming from the company. They have bought other canned IP. I know. And the easy road sometimes isn't the best road, is it? Walt took fairy tales and then he did stories based on these fairy tales, and they were wonderful to watch. Not all of them. I remember watching The Black Hole and going, what the heck happened here? I like the soundtrack, but that was about it in that movie. But there's always, not everyone can have a knock it out of the park production. But I think I would love to see, Disney do more creating and less obtaining. More creating, less obtaining. That's what I'd like to see. Yes, that's what I'd love to see. Thank you, David. Pat says, I had a robot come to my table at a Tom's Burgers here in Escondido. It even spoke and thanked us for coming. We did have to pull our orders off the trays. Very cool. Yes, this is what we think may happen at Denny's. Is the next thing that happens is I don't get a human server, which is going to break my heart. I love robots, but I love having a server that I can make my request to. And she responds to me like, this woman was amazing at this Denny's. My coffee cup was always full, always checking on us. And then I said, are we, you know, we haven't seen each other in a while, meaning me and my friend, can we have a little more time? She says, oh, we got lots of tables, take your time. So there are things that a robot just can't answer. So pulling them off, I was glad that she served them to us and interacted with us, because that's really special to me. Hey Terry, how's your mom doing? She's hanging in there. I'm just gonna say that we're hanging in there together. A couple of situations that I'm dealing with right now, but all is good overall. Thank you for asking, Mike. That's like taking Aunt Jemima off pancakes. Ridiculous. She loved that. Yeah, me too. Me too. Joe Penny says you're using StreamYard, but you're broadcasting from your personal Facebook profile, not your Facebook page. I'm thinking your settings on StreamYard might need to be changed so that your live broadcast can go through your page rather than your profile. I will look into that. I will talk to them about that, Joe, because I have not really ever gone through my page, or maybe I did and they pulled it off, but I'll check. I'll see if we can go through there. All right. Let me see if I can make that happen. And if I can, I will, for real. Okay. For real. I'll work on that. My husband says, unfortunately, the main camera video levels are massively high. Gonna have to tweak again when you're done. See, this light whiteout that you guys might be seeing is driving my husband and I both crazy. We're trying to tune in a balance of my skin tone, which I have to say, as I've gotten older, I've gotten even paler. I've always been a pale kid, but right now it's a little bit more pale. And so it's driving us a little nuts. I will say, though, that there is a brightness on the back wall that I love this right here. It was really dark and you couldn't see my mermaid tail. And I really like that's popping right there. That's making me happy. This is burning out, which I'd love that not to happen. And then I feel like I'm pale enough that I'm fading into my back door, which is behind me. But what do you guys think? I mean, my husband is always saying, ask you guys what you think if this looks a bit paler, because this is what we're really trying to work on, is to bring down so let me just try something and then you guys tell me, because again, what am I doing? I'm asking. Let's see if we do that. Oh, that actually makes it a little bit better, doesn't it? There we go. So without that I just turned one of the hot lights over, and I like that separation is better. It looks like I have some color. But what do you guys think? I would love to hear from you guys as you are watching it the whole time. But I like that. This is better. This is way better. This is better. What do you think, honey? It's nice when my husband's watching the thing and he's evaluating, because we're always trying to give you the best that we can. But I will say I love this right here, because I can see the mermaid tail. The mermaid tail is very special to me. I built her. If you're new to the channel, I built her in 1980 for a convention, and then I swam with her and did advertisements with that mermaid tail for a few years. I just built it, and then everybody started showing up. Yeah, it's still a little soft, but at least that light off is better. It just gives me a little more. So we'll see. We'll play. Playing with lights. You saw it here first. Have another tip of C. Yes, Joe, I will. I'm gonna do that right now. You never miss a trick with Joe. I'm at my lowest dreg, so I'm gonna turn off my little heater, which I have over there, and just let things cool down, my friends. A lot of criticism about Disney and Lucasfilm, by extension, is coming from extreme conservatives who see both companies as rejecting Walt Disney's old-fashioned conservative values and pushing far-left agenda that erases the traditional family advances in extreme feminist pro-LGBTQ, and as they see it, not just racially inclusive, but openly anti-white ideology. Projects like the Acolyte aren't helping to counteract this belief. And that is a mouthful. But you can see what is being stated there, right? You can see that we're all going through this turmoil of why, just because you hold on a second. Just because you have a platform doesn't mean you should, go too crazy on it, Just because you have a platform, you want to make sure that you are respectful of as many people as you can be respectful for. And this is very important. Oh, my hair color came in. That's nice. So it might be that we just had a bit too bright light. Mike says, hey, Terry, I like where they say, and now back to the show. Okay, so Mike, and now back to the show. Joe says, continuing my earlier comment about the Acolyte, telling me that poop isn't helpful. Tell me why it's poop and what you think makes it poop. Also, using terms like woke in your criticism imply that you have issues with having female and non-Caucasian characters and actors. Okay, Joe, I think that's a good comment. I think that's a good point. And I hope that you share that on your channel as well, that you don't just want to say, I didn't like it, I didn't like it, I didn't like it. I really, and I'll follow through. I didn't like it because the story just wasn't there. And the acting was just so superficial. I mean, I wish I could be specific, but I have to be honest, I didn't watch more than about an episode and a half because I couldn't, Joe. Or I would love to tell you exactly what I don't like about it, but I don't like it because the story just isn't grabbing me. I try to ignore episode 1 of anything, especially if it's not a returning episode, okay? Like if it's a brand new series like The Acolyte and they have episode 1, I usually figure that's a trashed episode. If it happens to come out of the gate like a lion, that's a lucky break. But a lot of times with pilots, new actors, new camera, new, it becomes a challenge for everybody to kind of find their feet. You give them 1 or 2 episodes to find their feet. So I usually will pop into episode 1, I'll look at episode 2, and then I'll maybe watch 3. I just couldn't get interested in this. It was just not, I hate to say it, Joe, and I don't know how else to say it. It just wasn't good. I thought the acting was really shallow. Like I didn't feel for any of the characters. The characters didn't grab me. I like to be afraid for characters because I care about them, or think that character's creepy and feel. I want to feel. I don't need to just see. I need to feel the films. I guess that's the best way that I can tell you. And in The Acolyte, I'm feeling nothing. I'm not even getting a pulse. Nothing. And it's a shame. It's a shame. There's definitely some certain things that are pretty, but I just no. I remember watching Boba Fett and so excited because Boba Fett was such a ruthless character in the first introduction to him when he was with the bounty hunters, and then later when he was in like Clone Wars and stuff like that. He just was a real ruthless character, and I enjoyed him. Now, when they bring him in live action, he's in a tank for most of the episodes. So boring. I mean, come on. Boring. No teeth in this character. Dull as dirt. Melba Toast character. I guess that's the best way I can say that for you, Joe. Disney parks are becoming canned IP land, just non-thematic collection of IP junk. Well, you know, when I look at Galaxy's Edge, I wonder why a desert planet in Florida, because Florida has enough desert to worry about, enough humidity, enough heat to make it uncomfortable. But the I just think they should have made a lush planet. Trees should be involved. That's my opinion with that one. And I also wonder about the latest in Disneyland. They did a Marvel universe, and the Marvel universe has what, 2 rides in it? And you walk through it and it's like, you can't walk through it. It's too little. It's kind of like you get a taste of Marvel and then you leave. I don't know. That land, I gotta agree with you. That land, I don't even know. Just doesn't do anything for me. I'm not a Marvelite though, so I need to know. People who love Marvel can tell me. I mean, I thought the Spider-Man jumping around was kind of cool. And I really thought I was going to like the restaurant, but the restaurant doesn't, it kind of underdelivers, the one where stuff shrinks. I really thought that was going to be cool, be an experience other than you standing in line and getting your food, a giant piece of something on a little bun. They could have done so much more. And I don't feel it. And it makes me very sad. Diane says, on a positive note, Inside Out 2 is doing great at the box office. My 4 generations are going to see it. Well, Diane, let me know, because I have to be honest, the first one left me cold. I mean, I saw it, but it didn't do a lot for me. So I'm a little hesitant to see the second one. But I'd love to hear what you think, because I'm not racing out to see it. But I would love to know what you think. I was really fired up for Kung Fu Panda 4 because it's still in theaters. People are going crazy for this movie, I guess. But it left me a little flat as well. And I'm trying to understand, because it definitely had some great elements in it. Great elements. But I think one of the reasons I missed it so much was one of the reasons it kind of left me flat, is what I'm trying to say, is I missed the Fab Five. I missed the Fab Five. The Fab Five aren't in it. And their relationships just always leave me joyful and everything. So this one seemed, my husband says it probably was because the voices of the Fab Five are too expensive to hire. And that's another thing that I don't want to think about a film. Oh, Kung Fu Panda 4 wrote one without these key players because they're too expensive to bring back. I'm a Hollywood child. I've been working for the industry since I was probably 20. And I've been in the middle of it. I've done countless movies, countless TVs, had ups, had downs, had this, had that. I know how movies work. I know the behind the scenes. I've built models. I've created all this stuff. But I don't want that to be the first thing in my mind, is the reason the Fab Five are missing is because you couldn't afford the Fab Five. You see what I'm saying? If you can't afford them, don't make it the first thing I think of after I've seen the movie. It just broke my heart. Do a compelling movie where they're not there. And the movie was decent. I'd say B-. Had some great stuff, but had some great moments. Had some good moments. Moments with Ping and the father were actually kind of fun. And I love Ping, so you can't go wrong with Ping. Love Ping. But yeah, I'm probably going to watch it again, because Kung Fu Panda is one of my favorite series, but 3 left me flat. I was so excited to see the Kung Fu Panda reunite with his mom and dad, and that movie just did not appeal to me at all. So I love 1 and 2. Both of them equal, different reasons. But 3, no, and 4, maybe. That's all I can say about that, as far as positive notes. So what does this mean to Diane, who's telling me all her generations are going to see Inside Out 2, is that I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it, because I am going to watch it. I just can't get myself to go to the theater to see it because of the first one. I'm influenced too much by the first one. Happens. So this one could be the one that I go, oh, I wasn't much with one, but I loved two. I could be that person because that happens, But right now I'm very busy, so I have to pick and choose what I watch. And Kung Fu Panda, I was able to stream for Prime, gave me a gift of a movie, so that's the one I've been dying to see. And um, yeah, there were just, I think that, I mean, I just wanted a real, huh! And there were a couple, but yeah, things I missed. Linda says, you look better now. I thought you were really pale and might not be okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because my husband was very grateful. But I was feeling the same way, Linda. I was like, I'm so pale on camera today. What's up? You know what else is really cool? Is that this is no longer like, it's soft, which is what I like, but it's no longer like glary. And then the blueness of the mermaid tail is nice. So I feel separate from my background now. So thank you, Linda, for speaking up. I appreciate that. Speaking of pale, I saw Dune Part 2 the other night. Very good. The lighting effects of the Harkonian, I think is how you say that. Sorry, I've read the books, but gladiator fight were very weird though. Boy, are those Harkonnens. It's Harkonnens. Yes, now I remember. Sorry. Literally white people. Joe, you're funny. You are funny. You seem stunned by my comments, like deer in the headlight, speechless. In some cases, I am, because you're digging a lot deeper into stuff that I necessarily will go. That's all. But Joe, we know this about you. You are a deep digger, where I don't dig so deep. Does that make sense? Yes, I love that about you. So don't take anything personal. Sometimes when I do that deer in the headlight stare, it's because there's more going through my mind than the issue at hand. I will admit that wholeheartedly. Like, boy, do I need to watch track of time because I have a cardiology appointment coming up, so I can't spend too much longer here. Linda says, as a former nurse practitioner, I look for possible causes and outcomes. I'm with you on that. And again, thank you for your input. It's fine if you don't like something because the story doesn't grab you or whatever. That's perfectly legitimate criticism. I'm not concerned about people not liking some Star Wars project because they don't like the story or dialogue isn't great or it's boring or whatever. I'm criticizing the idle criticism that's been seeing online. It's not as thoughtful. No, Joe, you pointed it out, I think better in your last comment, which was that you don't want their agendas to be pushed. Like, don't dislike the Acolyte, say, I don't like the Acolyte, and then you push your agenda, your like political agenda. That's kind of what I'm feeling from what you've stated, is that many of these comments that you read, and I have to tell you that I spend as little time on social media as possible because I'm a busy girl. I have stuff to do. And my husband says I purposely lose my phone because I don't want to spend it reading other about it, getting sucked into the vortex of everybody's opinion. I'm going to be honest. But these feeds, like you're talking about, Joe, certain feeds kept coming across. And I kept wondering, why Kathleen Kennedy was saying what she was saying, which was, it's all your fault, your fault, your fault. It's not our fault. It's your fault. And the blame game has always bothered me. Plain and simple, you don't blame others for the actions that you take. And that's kind of what I'm feeling. So I can understand exactly what you're stating. And you are into this stuff. Seriously, you dig deep. You're one of the people that I've known for a while, and you're a deep digger. And I think that's what makes you special. You also always label and let us know what year we're talking about and so on and so forth. And I'm grateful for that because this is what I'm talking about in collaboration. I can simply say the movie that has the guy that does the thing, and you come up with not only the title, but when it was made. And I'm grateful for that 100%. So you just keep doing what you do best because I'm grateful. Hello there. Well, hello there. As far as lighting goes, is there a hard bounce coming from your right screen left where the tail is? No. Well, there might, you mean back here? Right, like here? There is a light, but it's not a hard bounce. No. But I think now that I'm liking what I'm looking at because I feel separated from the background. But I want to thank you guys. Guys, I got to run. I got a cardiology today, and I really want to get some food in my belly. I haven't eaten yet. So I'm going to run. Gosh, this was a good conversation. I hope you felt the same way too. Maybe we all ranted. Maybe we didn't solve a lot, but we got it out into the open in a way that I think more and more we're setting by example how a good criticism and debate should go. This is what I love about you guys. You just, we all seem to, we all, not seem, we all respect each other very, very well. And I enjoy this back and forth. I enjoy those facets that make you up, like Joe talking about being thorough. I love this about you, Joe. I love this about you. Let you be safe. And Linda, thank you. Go eat, says Joe. I mean, I love who you guys are. Please understand that anytime we are having a debate, it is not personal. And if I ever do get personal with you, it hurts your feelings in any way, you let me know. Okay? Because that is not my intention. My intention is, I had a girl that she said, I'm hurt because people are dissing the live action films. And I said, but it's not you. Stand up for your live action films. Say why you like them. Say why you like them. I'm not going to get angry with you if you like them. I just don't like them. Especially Lion King live action. There is no such thing as a Lion King live action. So why call it Lion King live action? But the good thing about these films is they make you go back and see the original of which they came from. And that's always great for that film. Because that film you might not have thought to see. So you go back and watch the animated Lion King, which is a lot of fun. Diane says, it's always fun. Joe says, see you Friday. Yes. Don't know if I'll be live or not, but you will have a video or something Friday. And then, Joe, I will look into what you're asking. Okay? I promise. Okay? All right. Cool. Thank you for the hang. You too, DC. Thank you for joining me. Thanks to everyone. Was supposed to say love you. That's okay. Either way, it works. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. If you find yourself saddened, depressed, not feeling well, please phone a friend, reach out. We're here. I want to let you know I'm here. And in the tribe, we often go deeper and a lot more specific if there's something going on with you. We certainly don't want you to go down a rabbit hole into sadness and depression. Come, say something, and we're going to cheer you up, because today you have to say that a good rant makes you feel pretty good. Anyway, guys, I love you. Hugs, kisses, and see you one way or the other on Friday. Be good, be well.